race theory. What is it? Critical race theory is where schools teach children that babies are racist.
Another portion of the book, they recommend to babies confess when being racist.
I'm kidding. That was actually just Senator Ted Cruz from Texas asking irrelevant questions to the recent Supreme Court Justice nominee, Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Do you agree with this book that is being taught with kids that babies are racist?
Senator,
what critical race theory actually is, according to the American Bar Association, is how the social construct of race and institutionalized racism perpetuates a racial caste system that regulates people of color to the bottom tiers, and how race intersects with other identities such as sexual orientation and gender identity. Or in more simple words, literally just how racism is a systemic issue by acknowledging the harm that has been done to the Black community and other people of color. The principles for critical race theory are as follows. Recognizing that race is not biologically real, but a social construct. 2. Acknowledging that racism is a normal feature of society that is embedded within systems and institutions. 3. Rejecting popular understandings about racism such as there is not just a few bad apples within society. Basically, that there is a lot of nuance to the discussion of racism. 4. Recognizing people's everyday lives and experiences of racism from people of color directly. For more in-depth information about what exactly CRT entails, you can check out more directly from the American Bar Association, but we'll be discussing about why critical race theory seemingly poses a threat to K-12 education. Why is it controversial? There are a lot of reasons why school districts feel the need to censor discussions of race in the classroom, but most of the debate comes from parents who want to control what their kids are learning in schools. You know, like Karens who don't want their kids to be indoctrinated by school systems to believe their white children are racist, or people who don't see color. While yes, children shouldn't have to be taught about hate at such a young age, the unfortunate truth and reality of our world is that a minority child in a first grade classroom more than likely already knows what racism is because they've probably already experienced it, or their parents have had to sit them down and tell them about it in order to survive in a world that doesn't want to see them succeed because of the way they look. Since the debate surrounding critical race theory has been such a hot topic in politics lately, the debate has kind of blown out of proportion to the point where government officials are calling for a ban of critical race theory in K-12 education.
And so let me be clear. Let me be clear. On day one, we will not have political agendas in the classroom, and I will ban critical race theory.
That, my friends, is Governor Youngkin from Virginia, and he has had a lot to say about critical race theory since his establishment into office just this year.
School system. We're not going to teach our children to view everything through a lens of race. Yes, we will teach all history, the good and the bad, because we can't know where we're going unless we know where we have come from. But to actually teach our children that one group is advantaged and another is disadvantaged simply because of the color of their skin cuts across everything we know to be true. And the immortal words of Dr. Martin Luther King ring in our ears that we must judge one another by the content of our character and not the color of our skin. But this is what will be the founding principle of our executive order, what we're going to do in Virginia schools.
Youngkin wants to ban critical race theory in all Virginia schools, but who's going to tell him that I, as a student of Virginia for the past 12 years of my education, have not been taught anything remotely close to critical race theory? Only higher education offers this course because it has such a difficult curriculum. Sure, some classrooms may have more leeway in what they can discuss and teach depending on the teacher and the county, but I as a Virginia resident feel that we have not even come close to successfully talking about race or critically thinking about history because our classrooms do not uncover the brutal truth of our country's ties to racism and how it affects our modern day institutions and its people. I think the most correct argument people opposed to critical race theory could make is that it shouldn't be taught in schools simply because it's such a complex subject matter that it's most commonly found in law school, not even in grad school. So it would be difficult for secondary and primary school students to understand. However, I still do think we can apply the principles of critical race theory to appropriately match the grade levels. This could be as simple as giving students more diverse text to read, only if they stopped banning books by Black authors. Banning books by Black people and other people of color who are authored only erases their history and suppresses their voices. It's important to understand that critical race theory does not teach us that all white people are racist or that all the blame should be shifted to them. It only pushes us to recognize and acknowledge that racism is a plague that has embedded itself into all parts of our society, and that we need to be aware of it in order to empathize with each other's struggles and fix the problem through an anti-racist lens. It is not something that divides us or teaches us that we should see each other differently based on the color of our skin. Rather, it helps us to apply and understand history in a more modern and critical sense.